The sun was shining brightly over the lush green canopy as the Mitchell family packed the last of their hiking gear. Mark Mitchell, a tall man with a sturdy build and calm demeanor, adjusted the straps of his backpack while keeping an eye on his children. Emma, his wife, was checking supplies one last time, ensuring they had enough food, water, and medical essentials for the trek ahead. Their 3 children, Sarah, 14, James, 12, and little Lily, 7, were buzzing with excitement. Today was the day they had been waiting for months, a family adventure into the heart of the Amazon-like forest reserve. The air was crisp with the scent of wildflowers, damp earth, and the distant roar of waterfalls. "Are you all ready?" Mark asked, looking at the kids. "Yes," Sarah exclaimed, hopping in place, while James mimicked a tiger roar, earning a chuckle from Lily. Emma handed each child a walking stick and a small pack of essentials. "Stick together, listen carefully, and remember everything we practiced," she instructed. "This forest is beautiful, but it can be dangerous if we aren't careful." They started their journey down the winding trail, leaves crunching beneath their boots. Birds chirped melodiously, and the sun filtered through the thick canopy, creating dancing patterns on the forest floor. The forest seemed welcoming at first, but the subtle rustle of unseen creatures and the distant growl of an animal reminded them that nature was unpredictable. Mark led the way with a compass in hand, occasionally consulting the map. "We'll reach the waterfall lookout by noon," he said. "It's a moderate hike, but stay close." The children were fascinated by the forest. Sarah stopped frequently to photograph colorful insects and flowers, while James tried to identify different bird calls with his binoculars. Lily, small and curious, picked up pebbles and sticks, examining each one with a childlike wonder. As they advanced deeper into the forest, the trail became narrower and steeper. Roots twisted across the path, creating natural obstacles. Mark and Emma helped Lily over each one, ensuring she didn't trip or fall. "Slow and steady," Mark reminded her. By mid-morning, they reached a clearing, sunlight streaming through a break in the canopy. The view was breathtaking, a sparkling river snaking through the dense greenery and mist rising from the distant waterfalls. The family paused to take it all in, feeling the sense of accomplishment and wonder. But the forest held secrets. From the shadows, movement caught James's attention. A group of capuchin monkeys swung from tree to tree, chattering loudly. Sarah snapped photos, laughing at their antics. Emma cautioned them, "Remember, never feed the animals. They may look friendly, but they can be unpredictable." As they continued along the trail, subtle signs of danger became more apparent. Broken branches, deep claw marks on trees, and the faint scent of predators reminded Mark that they were visitors in someone else's territory. He motioned for the family to stay alert. Suddenly, a rustling in the underbrush startled them. A jaguar prowled just ahead, its golden eyes gleaming. The children froze, and Mark slowly raised his walking stick, trying to appear larger and non-threatening. Emma whispered to the kids, "Stay calm. Don't run." The jaguar paused, sizing them up. Its powerful muscles tensed, then it slowly retreated into the forest, vanishing like a shadow. Relief washed over the family, but their hearts still pounded with adrenaline. "Nature is beautiful, but it demands respect," Mark said softly. "Always be aware of your surroundings." By noon, they reached the waterfall lookout. The roar of cascading water filled their ears, and the mist created rainbows in the sunlight. The family ate a quick lunch on the rocks, enjoying the moment and taking photos. Lily's laughter echoed as she dipped her feet into the cool stream. Yet, clouds began gathering on the horizon. Dark, rolling clouds signaled an approaching storm. Mark consulted his watch and map. "We need to head back before it hits," he instructed. The hike back was tense. Rain began to drizzle, making the trail slippery. Mark led carefully, guiding the children over the treacherous roots and rocks. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind shook the trees, and a large branch snapped above them, narrowly missing Sarah. Emma grabbed Lily and pulled her close. "We have to be very careful," she said, her voice firm but calm. As the rain intensified, the forest transformed. The once enchanting environment became a maze of wet leaves, mud, and hidden dangers. Small streams formed on the trail, and the roar of distant waterfalls grew louder, almost menacing. Suddenly, the family heard loud screeches. A swarm of aggressive hornets had been disturbed by their movement. James swatted at the air, trying to protect himself, while Emma covered Lily with her jacket. Mark shouted, "Move! Keep moving to safety." They ran through the wet underbrush, avoiding thorny plants and low-hanging branches until they reached a denser section of the forest, where the hornets finally dispersed. Exhausted and soaked, they paused to catch their breath. "This forest is alive," Mark said, his expression a mixture of awe and concern. "Every step we take, every sound we hear, it's all part of its rhythm. We must respect it." By late afternoon, they reached a small clearing with enough space to set up temporary shelter. Mark and Emma quickly gathered materials to build a makeshift canopy, using large leaves, branches, and a tarp from their pack. The children helped by collecting sticks and rocks. As night fell, the forest came alive with the calls of nocturnal creatures, owls, insects, and distant howls. The family huddled under the shelter, tired but safe for now. The glow of a small campfire provided warmth and comfort. Mark spoke softly to the children. "Today was a lesson. Adventure is thrilling, but the forest is unpredictable. We must always be prepared and work together. That's how we survive." Liam listened intently, nodding. Lily fell asleep, exhausted from the day's events. Sarah looked thoughtful, photographing the fire's glow against the dark forest background. The storm clouds rolled above, a reminder that the forest still held many surprises. But for now, the Mitchell family had survived their first day, relying on courage, teamwork, and the unbreakable bond of family. The jungle was a place of beauty and danger, and their adventure had only just begun. Tomorrow, they would face new challenges, testing their survival skills and determination further. But tonight, they were together, safe and stronger, ready to meet whatever the forest had in store. The morning mist lingered over the forest as the Mitchell family packed up their makeshift shelter. The events of the previous day had left them exhausted but determined. Mark checked his compass, ensuring they were heading deeper into the heart of the reserve, where rare wildlife and untouched nature awaited. "Remember, stay alert," Mark reminded the children. "We never know what might cross our path." Sarah, notebook in hand, documented everything: the towering trees, vibrant flowers, and insects she had never seen before. James, with binoculars dangling around his neck, scanned the canopy for birds and other animals. Lily clutched Emma's hand, her eyes wide with curiosity and caution. By late morning, the forest became denser. Sunlight barely penetrated the thick foliage, creating shadows that shifted with the wind. The trail grew narrower, roots and vines twisting across the path. Mark moved carefully, helping the children navigate the challenging terrain. Suddenly, a piercing screech echoed through the trees. From the shadows, a jaguar leapt across a clearing. Its golden eyes locked onto the family. Heartbeats quickened. Mark instinctively positioned himself between the children and the predator. "Stay calm. Don't run." The jaguar paused, evaluating them. With a low growl, it slowly retreated into the forest, disappearing like a phantom. The family exhaled, relief mixed with adrenaline. "That was close," Emma whispered, clutching Lily tightly. The forest seemed alive with hidden eyes and unseen creatures. Every rustle of leaves and snap of a branch reminded them they were visitors in this wilderness. Mark led them carefully, constantly scanning for signs of danger. By noon, they reached a small river. The water was clear and inviting, but the current was strong. Mark tested the depth with a long branch before helping the children cross. Sarah carefully photographed the river's edges, noting unusual plants and insects. James attempted to spot fish swimming beneath the surface. As they advanced, clouds began gathering, darker and more ominous than before. A storm was brewing. Emma pulled out rain ponchos from their packs. "We need to find shelter quickly." "The forest can become dangerous during heavy rain," she said, her voice firm but calm. Mark led them to a rocky overhang nearby, creating a temporary refuge from the downpour. The rain came in sheets, pounding the leaves and forest floor, turning the trail into a muddy mess. Thunder rumbled above, and lightning illuminated the dense jungle in sharp, fleeting flashes. Suddenly, movement in the bushes startled them. A troop of wild capuchin monkeys had been displaced by the storm. They screeched and swung from branch to branch, throwing small stones and fruits in playful aggression. The children laughed nervously, while Mark shooed them away gently. "Stay calm. They're curious, not dangerous if we respect them," he said. As the storm intensified, small streams formed on the trail, carrying fallen leaves and debris. The forest floor became slippery, making every step treacherous. Mark led carefully, Emma assisting Lily at every step. The children's energy waned, and exhaustion began to set in. By late afternoon, the family spotted an elevated area covered with large trees, which could serve as a more stable shelter. Mark directed them there, gathering branches and leaves to reinforce their temporary refuge. Sarah and James helped, learning quickly how to create a makeshift protective barrier. As night fell, the storm raged on. Rain battered the shelter, wind howled through the trees, and distant animal calls created an eerie symphony. Yet the Mitchell family huddled together, drawing strength from each other. Mark and Emma reassured the children, telling stories and reminding them of everything they had learned about survival. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes appeared in the underbrush. A jaguar, or perhaps a large wild dog, watched them silently. Mark held his walking stick tightly, keeping a protective stance. "Don't panic," he whispered. "Make yourself appear bigger." Slowly, he banged sticks together, creating loud clattering noises. The animal hesitated, then slinked back into the darkness. The children were shaken but safe. "This forest is unpredictable," Mark said softly. "We must respect it and stay vigilant. Every challenge teaches us something." Dinner was a modest affair: coconuts, berries, and some preserved food from their packs. Despite the difficulties, the family shared laughter and reassurances. They had survived the storm, wild animals, and the harsh terrain, and had learned the importance of teamwork and caution. By night, the forest settled into a tense silence, broken only by distant animal calls. Lily slept peacefully beside Emma, while Sarah and James took turns keeping watch with Mark. The lessons of survival were sinking in, and their confidence grew. The storm had tested their courage, resilience, and unity, but the Mitchell family emerged stronger. Tomorrow would bring new challenges: navigating deeper into the forest, finding fresh water sources, and avoiding hidden predators. Yet, they faced it with renewed determination. As the night stretched on, Mark whispered to Emma, "We've done well today. We've kept them safe, and we've learned. No matter what comes next, we'll face it together." The forest loomed around them, alive, mysterious, and dangerous. But within their small, makeshift shelter, the Mitchell family felt a spark of triumph. They were survivors, ready to embrace the adventure ahead with courage, knowledge, and unbreakable family bonds. Dawn broke slowly over the dense jungle, painting the forest in soft hues of gold and green. The Mitchell family stirred from their makeshift shelter, tired from the previous night's storm but determined to continue. Mark checked their surroundings carefully, ensuring no immediate danger was near. "Stay close and keep your eyes open," he advised, glancing at his 3 children, Sarah, James, and little Lily. "The forest is alive, and we must respect it every step of the way." Emma helped Lily adjust her backpack, while Sarah and James prepared the small supplies for the day's hike. The storm had left puddles, fallen branches, and scattered debris, turning the trail into a slippery and unpredictable path. The family moved cautiously, holding onto each other when needed. By mid-morning, they encountered their first major obstacle: a wide river swollen from the previous night's rain. The current rushed violently, and jagged rocks lined the riverbank. Mark assessed the situation, selecting a series of stable stepping stones. "One at a time," he instructed. Hold hands and watch your footing. James went first, gripping Mark's hand tightly. Sarah followed, carefully balancing her weight. Little Lily hesitated but was guided by Emma, who encouraged her with calm words and gentle support. Together, they crossed safely, though soaked and shivering from the cold water spray. As they continued, the jungle grew denser, with thick vines and towering trees that blocked the sunlight. Suddenly, the sharp snap of a branch alerted them. A jaguar appeared from the shadows, its eyes glinting with predatory intensity. The family froze. Mark positioned himself between the jaguar and the children, raising a walking stick and making himself appear larger. "Stay calm," Mark whispered. "Do not make sudden movements." The jaguar hesitated, sizing them up. Its muscles tensed, ready to spring, but Mark and Emma remained steady, shielding the children. Slowly, with a growl that rumbled through the underbrush, the jaguar turned and disappeared into the foliage. The family exhaled, hearts pounding, but relief and adrenaline merged with the sense of accomplishment. Hours passed as they navigated the increasingly treacherous terrain. Hunger and fatigue weighed heavily, but Mark and Emma rationed food and encouraged the children. Sarah spotted edible berries along the path, carefully tested under Emma's guidance. James found small streams where water could be safely filtered. Little Lily's spirits lifted with each small success, her laughter echoing faintly through the trees. By late afternoon, they discovered a rocky ridge overlooking a valley. The view was breathtaking, a mixture of lush green forest, glistening streams, and distant mountains. "We need to set up camp here," Mark said. "It's higher ground, safer from flooding, and gives us a better vantage point." The family worked together to build a temporary shelter using branches, leaves, and tarps. Sarah and James gathered materials, while Mark and Emma ensured the structure was stable. As night fell, the sounds of the jungle intensified, distant howls, rustling leaves, and the occasional splash of water in the streams below. Suddenly, movement caught their eyes. A troop of wild monkeys approached the camp, curious and slightly aggressive. Emma quickly shooed them away, while Mark kept watch, making loud noises to deter the animals. The children watched in awe, understanding that the jungle was beautiful but unpredictable. During the night, the family took turns keeping watch. The sky was clear, stars twinkling through breaks in the canopy, but the forest was alive with nocturnal creatures. Mark whispered to the children about the importance of vigilance and teamwork, reinforcing lessons learned over the past days. The next morning brought hope. From the ridge, Mark spotted a faint glimmer in the distance, a small rescue helicopter, possibly searching for lost hikers. Excitement surged through the family. "We need to signal them," Mark said. "Use anything reflective or make noise." Sarah grabbed a small mirror from her pack, while James and Lily waved brightly colored clothing. Emma banged sticks together, creating loud rhythmic noise. Slowly, the helicopter noticed them, circling closer, shining a bright searchlight. Relief and joy washed over them as the helicopter landed nearby. Rescue personnel quickly approached, helping the family board safely. Tears, hugs, and laughter mingled with exhausted smiles. They had survived the jungle, its storms, predators, and harsh conditions through courage, knowledge, and unbreakable family bonds. As the helicopter lifted off, the Mitchell family gazed down at the forest below. The dense greenery stretched endlessly, both beautiful and formidable. "We've learned so much," Emma said softly, holding Lily close. "We've faced fear, worked together, and survived." Mark nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon. "This experience has changed us. We respect nature now more than ever, and we know the strength we carry as a family." Sarah, clutching her notebook filled with observations, whispered, "I'll never forget this adventure." James, exhausted but smiling, added, "And we survived it all together." The helicopter flew toward safety, leaving the dense forest behind. The Mitchell family had faced the ultimate test of endurance, courage, and resilience. They had emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. For the Mitchells, The jungle was no longer just a place of danger. It was a testament to the power of family, the importance of knowledge, and the triumph of hope over fear. They had conquered the challenges of nature, and in doing so, had discovered the true meaning of survival. As they neared civilization, the family held hands, ready to embrace life beyond the forest. Their journey had tested them in every way, but it had also created memories, lessons, and bonds that would last a lifetime.